Very good morning to all of you. So today I welcome you all to the next series of this channel, Study the Enzyme. So we have initially begun with life processes. So here I am with the next part, excretion of life process, grade 10 science. So let us continue. So as you can see here, what is excretion? Before we begin anything else, let me clarify this excretion is very well misunderstood with egestion. Now what is the difference between this excretion and egestion? So excretion, as we can see on the screen, excretion means the removal of the waste product. Removal of the specifically metabolic, or we can say nitrogenous waste product. When the nitrogenous waste product, which is formed after the metabolism in the body of the nitrogenous waste, is called excretion. The main waste products that are produced in the body, which are nitrogenous and to be excreted, are urea, carbon dioxide, excess salt. So all these are removed by the process of excretion. Now what is it's important? It is very important to remove these waste products, as their accumulation may lead to toxic generation in the body. And what about simple organisms? How do they excrete? We humans, we complex organisms have a very well defined excretory system, very well organized. But what about these simple organisms? These simple organisms like amoeba, how do they excrete? They excrete by the process of surface diffusion. So they diffuse the waste product directly into the environment by the process of diffusion. Since they have only one cell in their body which is in contact with the environment, so they often excrete via that diffusion method, which is not possible in humans, as we have millions and millions of cells. So every cell is not in contact with the environment. Moving ahead is the human excretory system. We will be studying the excretory system and its components. As you can see on the screen, we have human excretory system, and this excretory system will consist of a pair of kidneys, right, that you can see here on the either side of the spine, a urinary bladder, a urethra, and a pair of ureters. So we have a pair of ureters, we have a pair of kidneys, a single urinary bladder, and urethra, which excrete the waste product into the environment. And what is the role of this excretory system? I have already discussed. We filter the blood and remove the nitrogenous waste, which forms the urine. Children, a very surprising fact. Do you know our kidneys, they filter almost 180 liters of blood one day. Every day it filters 180 liters. And what is the output of urine? The urine output is only 1.5 to 2 liters of urine is produced. Just imagine the filtering capacity of the kidneys. Okay, coming ahead is the structure of kidneys. The kidneys are bean-shaped structures. Like they are bean-shaped like structures. So they have concave and the this type of structure. Kidneys. And here ureters arise from them. Okay. Moving ahead. These kidneys, as we know that there are specific cells in every organ, so the cells which make up the kidneys are known as nephrons. So nephrons are the structural and functional unit of kidneys. This question can also be asked in examination. So structural and functional unit of kidneys are the nephrons. These nephrons consist of glomerulus, glomerulus, which is a cup-like structure, glomerulus with a Bowman's capsule, a cup-like structure with a bunch of capillaries, which is called glomerulus. This glomerulus is the bunch of capillaries. As you can see, this capillaries inside the Bowman's capsule. Right? तो हम ऐसे imagine कर सकते हैं जैसे हम चाय बनाते हैं and then we filter it, right? We keep the strainer over the cup and we strain the tea. तो जब आप चाय छानते हैं then you would have seen the tea coming out and the tea leaves, जो चाय पत्ती होती है, that is retained over the strainer. So same function here when you filter the blood. So what happens? This filtration part is known as ultrafiltration, where the glomerulus will be acting like a strainer, चाय छन्नी के जैसे काम करेगा, and it will filter the blood, and all the solvent particles, small particles, and the fluid will come out, whereas the bigger cells, RBCs, WBCs, and the other bigger particles, bigger proteins, they are retained over the glomerulus. So first part is glomerulus, then you have Bowman's capsule, और उसके नीचे there are a lot of capillaries. As you can see here, there are a lot of capillary tube-like structure, highly coiled tube-like structure, through which this filtrate passes and ultimately becomes urine. Another important thing that can be asked from this part is the steps of urine formation. It is very important. So urine formation is divided into 3 steps. Step number 1, ultrafiltration. Step number 2, reabsorption. And step number 3, selective secretion. Okay, so this question also comes in exam, as I have written beneath this. Draw a label diagram of nephron. Now you people know that we have competency based board examination and the question. So usually labeling part will come these days instead of drawing, but you all have to practice drawing and labeling of this nephron, and you must know the function of each and every part of the nephron, right? Moving ahead, this is the simplified version of the nephron, where you can very well and very clearly see the Bowman's capsule, ये cup-like structure. This is the cup-like structure. This is the cup-like structure, और उसके ऊपर है ऐसे glomerulus, right? And beneath all these, you have these capillaries, tubules. These tubules, here the fluid will be passed, and the important substances from these nutrients, from this filtrate, will be absorbed. Okay, so the first step is of urine formation is filtration. Second step, reabsorption. अब क्या होता है जब strain होता है filtrate, जब भी blood filter होता है, so there are very small particles like glucose, like sodium ions, potassium ions, they also come into the filtrate. They also come out of it to be eliminated in the form of urine, but they are important for our body. We need glucose, we need these potassium ions, sodium ions. So the kidney has to absorb these back. तो जैसे ही ये इंटरव्यूल्स में से ये पास होते हैं सारे फिल्ट्रेट में से जो पार्टिकल्स, so the important things are absorbed by the kidney, absorbed by these tubules and sent to the blood capillaries. लास्ट तक आते आते क्या बन जाता है, जब फिल्ट्रेट बनने लगता है, then there are certain substances, as I had discussed earlier, कि जैसे यूरिया होता है, which is a bigger molecule, it does not come out. Creatinine है, it is a big nitrogenous waste, it has to be eliminated, but वो filter में से नीचे पास ही नहीं होता filtrate में. So in the last step of secretion, these bigger molecules, they are excreted back here, they are given back here. So this process is known as secretion. आपको पता है इसके आसपास ये सारा blood capillaries, they are surrounding these entire tubules. And what is the role of these blood capillaries? जो यूजफुल सब्सटेंसेस होते हैं वो अब्सॉर्ब करके ब्लड कैपिलरी में आ जाते हैं, और ब्लड कैपिलरी से जो हार्मफुल सब्सटेंसेस होते हैं दे आर सेंट बैक, they are given back here, which is the step of secretion. Do you know, besides our kidneys, now you have understood what are these excretory organs, what is their role. Besides these kidneys, which are the important part of the excretory system, we have lungs, which remove carbon dioxide. We have skin, which remove excess sweat, right? It secretes sweat, which releases from the body salt, water, and urea. So they are also excretory organs of our body. Liver, liver which converts harmful substances into urea, that will also come in the category of excretory organ. Then you have intestine, which remove the bile, pigments, and waste from the body. So besides kidneys, if the question comes, what are the other excretory organs? Lungs, skin, liver, and intestine. All right. Coming to the next, excretion in plants. Now plants do not have kidneys, they do not have nephrons, they do not have urethra. So how do they excrete their waste product? Okay, before you do that, tell me what are the waste products in plants. It is carbon dioxide, it is oxygen, it is resins, latex. So how are they excreted? So they are excreted, for example, gases, they are excreted by the process of diffusion through the stomata. Other waste products, they are stored beneath the bark. They are stored in the leaves. When you must have seen during the fall season, leaves become yellow and they fall from the tree. Not always not only in the season of fall, even in regular seasons also you would have seen older leaves, they turn yellow and they fall off from the plants. So what happens, all the excretory waste, they get stored there, and ultimately these leaves, they fall off. As a result, the plants exudes themselves for the process of excretion. You can see raisins, you can very well see this raisins and tannins here. Can you see this? I'm drawing here raisins, gums. So they are all excretory waste of the plant which are removed. And now is the disorders of the kidneys. Here you can see a kidney with calculi. What are these calculi? Kidney stones. When some substances which are not metabolized, some salts which are not metabolized, oxalate ions, so they get stored in the kidneys and they lead to the production of kidney stones. So this is one of the disorder of the kidney. There's another disorder, uremia, which is due to the failure of kidneys. So kidneys are now not able to filter the blood. And you know this procedure, when the kidneys are not able to filter their blood, they have to undergo artificial dialysis. They have to undergo the process of artificial kidney filtration, which is called dialysis. Okay. Now what this dialysis is, this is also a part in your NCERT in the yellow box, but we need to study this because this can be asked. अब क्या होता है, you people are aware about the process of diffusion, right, and osmosis also. तो यहाँ पर क्या होगा, you can see here on the screen that the blood from the patient's body is drawn out. The entire blood is drawn out and is allowed to pass through tubes, which are covered with semi-permeable membranes, right? And they are present in a tank which is filled with the dialyzing fluid. अब क्या होगा, ये जो dialyzing fluid है, it has the same concentration of ions and other materials like the blood, except the nitrogenous waste. तो अब क्या होगा, ये tubules के अंदर पेशेंट का ब्लड फ्लो कर रहा है विच इज रिच इन नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट, क्योंकि उसकी किडनी फेल हो चुके हैं. सो नाउ व्हेन दिस tubules blood is passed through this tank, और इस टैंक में क्या है, डायलाइजिंग फ्लूइड. So what happens? You know, everything moves from the region of high concentration to the region of low concentration. So now what will happen? Nitrogenous waste will move from these kidneys into the tank. So now the blood is getting rid of all the nitrogenous waste. और ये जो बिना नाइट्रोजनस वाला वेस्ट है, बिना नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट वाला ब्लड है, this is returned back to the patient's body. And this entire process is known as dialysis. I hope I could make this clear to you. So these are some of the summary key concepts. Excretion का मतलब होता है removal of waste product. And be very clear, removal of nitrogenous waste product, not egestion, which is removal of undigested food. Okay. So here are some of the important board questions, CBSE questions that have been asked. So I have told you earlier, this formation of urine is very, very important. Nephron ka formation, nephron diagram, its labeling. How do kidneys maintain their water balance? Functions of lungs, liver, skin. I hope you're able to answer them now. Lungs, they help in removal of carbon dioxide. Liver, detoxification. Skin, removal of urea, removal of salts, removal of water. What happens when the kidney fail? Yes, when the kidneys fail, then they undergo artificial dialysis. Dialysis, which is the artificial kidney filtration. Differentiate between excretion in amoeba and humans. So excretion in amoeba will be by the process of diffusion through the skin, and in humans it will be through the elaborate excretory system. Important क्यों है excretion की? To remove the waste product, to remove the toxins from the body. And then you have, how do unicellular organisms remove their waste? Again the same question, by the process of diffusion. State 2 functions of kidneys. 1. Maintain water balance. Number 2. Filtration of blood to remove the nitrogenous waste product. How do plants manage their waste? We have just now discussed. They remove carbon dioxide by stomata. They remove their gums, tannins, resins. They send to different parts from where they are excreted. What is dialysis? We've discussed artificial filtration of the blood. Then coming up are some competency based questions. They are simply MCQs that I would want to ask you. Filtering organ in the humans, kidneys. Filtering unit of kidney, or I can say structural unit of the kidney or the functional unit of kidney, is the nephron. Removal of waste is called excretion, correct? Reabsorption occurs in tubules. Nitrogenous waste क्या है? Urea. Carbon dioxide is excreted by lungs. Kidney failures require dialysis. Plant waste is removed by diffusion. Sweat contain water, salt and urea. Dialysis used when the kidney fails. So this was little about the process of excretion. I hope this made things clear to you, and I would request you all to please subscribe the channel and keep watching it, and thank you for watching.